Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today we are speaking with Giacomo, the founder of Lirius Games, an indie board game publisher based in Rome. And they turned their love for comic, storytelling, and strategy into a thriving business. And they were also able to launch their first games on Kickstarter successfully, and they were able to hit their funding goal just within 4 hours and also brought in thousands of backers. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you first off by starting to share your journey with our audience on like what was the background story? How do you get to where you are, and how do you got into designing board games that you currently also publishing right now?
Yeah, so Lirius Games is a little bit of byproduct of the COVID period. You know, lots of people find themselves with lots of time on their hand, and we had this passion for board games in a very casual way, but we were like we're very passionate, and we had this idea. We were toying around for quite a bit of a game about the comic book thriving industry in the 40s and 50s in the US. Like all the major comic book publisher we know nowadays that create like Build Empire were born in those years. And we realized that we're not like a worker placement is the kind of board games the game is. The game is like now is here and his age of comics, the golden years. Mm-hmm. And we start to iterate the games, and because of the specific of that time, there were like a lot of people online, and we managed to prototype the game and played so many times. And after a while, we noticed that people were coming back and asking for the game, and we thought that we had something on our hand. And from that moment on, we were coming from the other owner of the company and the managing director of the company is also my wife, that is Sonia, and she is an economist, and I came from the movie industry world, and we try to join our like strength together, and we start to think and prototyping the board game. And once we realized that there was like there was a market, we start to participate to conventions to get and meet real people, and kind of like coming out of the lockdown period. And we noticed that there was interest and enthusiasm. We started from Italy, and then we start to do play testing online with the US, with the UK, and we start to essentially build a little community. Mm-hmm. And that I think is the core engine of any indie publisher or any kind of endeavor in this specific age, and the most important thing. And when we thought the moment was right, we start to build up our Kickstarter campaign. We manage everything from marketing, advertising. Literally, it was quite a ride. We had a fantastic artist that was working on the graphic of the game, and we start to communicate a lot with our online communities, and again meeting the same people at convention. And we felt the momentum was growing, and so when we launched it, it was not my first Kickstarter, so I always suggest like a new publisher to test something on Kickstarter before going with a bigger project. It was a completely different thing. It was like a science fiction short film that I made a few years ago, but I knew some of the pro and cons of the campaign. I mean, like how you can turn your cons into pro and what you really need to rely on, and the huge amount of work there is behind it that many people, audiences don't see. And
For sure.
so it was like we were amazed by the the passion and the enthusiasm that hit us, and that was showing through the numbers.
Yeah, and I know for that particular campaign, you were able to hit the funding goal within just 4 hours. But I think it's all the work that you do before the campaign launch that is,
Yes.
the critical
Yes.
part. And how for this particular campaign, how many months in advance do you start the preparation process?
We started softly 1 year before, and we
Oh,
ramp up marketing effort 2 months before. We
okay.
spent very little money, but they were like very targeted. We learned how to work around some the the algorithm and the complexity of building a marketing campaign on the major social media. I must say the scenario now is very different, since we launched the first campaign.
Yeah.
It drastically changed. When we launched Kickstarter was still, I'm just like talking like 3 years ago now, and it's like,
Mhm.
but it was still a platform for new creators. Right now, crowdfunding in general start to be very crowded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Agree.
it seems more and more that people are using it as a store. So the level of polishing that the project needs to have, it's really it's paramount. And there was a time in which you could go, could say, I'm gonna launch on Kickstarter, and then I'm gonna refine the game with the audience. Now it's competition is so fierce that people want the product done, and also the other thing they want they kind of like also want to, so the participation now it's in the previous phase but is not after. When you arrive there, you're already discussed, you're already at like a certain stage. And that's a little bit of a pitfall that we had in the last campaign, that we decided to cancel after 1 day, and we're going to relaunch in probably September this year.
I see, I see, I see. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of the backers also looking for, because of just you like you mentioned of the competition, they are looking for a product that's almost fully finished instead of
Yes.
like before that's like still kind of in like changing and like kind of semi prototyping phase.
Yes.
So, but most of the company right now on Kickstarter, they are really using it as like a marketing platform instead of like instead of like a crowdfunding raising platform. So
Absolutely. In fact, for indie publisher, and for us as well, the biggest hurdle is that we are competing with giant of the industry, and that
yeah,
can of course can kind of like cannibalize the marketing effort for of a very small company. It's the
yeah.
truth of the market, and that's what we have to live with. And but again, it's like the work in the community. It's absolutely fundamental.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But what do you think that make your campaign so successful? What additional advice or things you have learned that you like to share with our listener?
Is like probably a core element of any business. Like it was there was a unique selling it was it was a unique product. There was nothing so specific regarding the comic book industry. You in the game, you play the role of a publishing company, and you
Mhm.
need to use your workers to perform specific tasks that will allow you to create your comic book series. And you can
Okay.
specialize in genre, you can compete on the market, you can compete on the map of Manhattan, getting the best deals, and so it was highly thematic and very new. So it was a really unique selling proposition, and that I think strike a chord and he played with like the nostalgia that I have for like that we prefer like a certain kind of like certain kind of products that made our infancy special in a way. And also this thing that comic books are, and superhero movies, and like a little bit at the center of the conversation, that certainly in that moment helped. And also the fact that we were personally involved because we are the designer of the game itself. So being the game designer, being the publisher, the way we were communicating the company Lirius Game was also communicating ourselves. All things that in the last campaign slightly we probably didn't communicate as efficiently as we should add, the level of involvement we had on the project and so on. But of course, like if you are a creator, there's always an element of plus that you can get from the excitement of the crowd.
I see. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I know you're also going to be launching another Kickstarter campaign here shortly as well, right?
So yeah, the other one I have here, like a first prototype, and the Stemless Journeys is the campaign that I was mentioning before. We cancel. We launch in end of October, beginning of November. The other, like, I can kind of like list the mistake that we did, and we engage with the community, but we confuse communities. One important thing is that online communities and real trade event communities are very different. And they do not respond at the same time. They do not respond in the same way to a commercial proposition. Like, for example, we've been incredibly successful. We actually sold out Age of Comics in Europe. We have still a few copies in the US. While we were attending trading event in Europe, we sold out every time we were there with Age of Comics. The impression and the mounting enthusiasm in person and live, people trying to play testing the prototype of Timeless Journeys, we got, one thing is presenting the product in person and getting genuine first face-to-face response. One thing is convert that level of enthusiasm from a live event into a digital one. Audience are simply different. They want different things. The crowdfunding audience want a ready product that looks in a certain way, and they are keen to wait for it. The event, trade show, and convention audience wants the game right there, right now. So we probably would have sold out the new game as well, but that crowd that was very enthusiastic didn't necessarily follow through the Kickstarter. The same time is like, we realized that we needed to change many, some things about, for example, the graphics and adding new, more exciting mechanics to the game. We're gonna announce soon the changes we made. So what we did when we canceled the campaign, we decided to send a survey to all our followers, and we start to implement the feedback into the new game. So there's going to be a new board, there's going to be a new colors, there's going to be more drawing, and hopefully that drive more excitement to the next campaign.
I see. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think we all learn mistake along the way, and that's part of being an entrepreneur. And we learn from our mistake, and each time we do the campaign or the next project, we get better by learning from our previous mistakes.
And better is like maybe sometimes confidence. Again, we underestimate. We attended the Essen, that is the biggest board game convention and trade show that there is probably in the world, and that was literally 10 days before the Kickstarter campaign. And then we had other issue because life gets in the way, and we got a medical scare before. So we arrived on the Kickstarter campaign, we were literally depleted, because when we participate to the convention, it's literally us, me and my wife, going there, building the stand and selling the games and explaining the game all day. So we arrived at the time of the Kickstarter campaign that we were literally
Exhausted.
really tired. So
Yeah.
do not mix the campaign with the convention. Treat them
Yeah.
separately. Don't think that one response will lead into another one. Just
Yeah.
focus on the digital element and see how that community is reacting and what it's saying.
Yeah, and of course, we have been spending a lot of time talking about Kickstarter, but outside of Kickstarter, now I think some of the products in productions. What are some of the marketing strategy that you have been working or trying right now for getting the game out there? Post the Kickstarter campaign.
It's pretty like there's nothing unique. It's like you need to find a way to tailor and segment your audiences more and more to perform the ads, and this is like more the technical side. On the other side, you need to engage, you need to participate to forum, you need to share your work with your audience. You need to give you need to get constant feedback and trying to get the sense of what capture the imagination of a backer, and that's the main thing. So in terms of marketing is communicate pitfalls and success, and I think honesty in a way it's an important element because you need to build a community. So it's not just like customers. It's a slightly different proposition. They need to trust you and believe you for a certain amount of time. They literally give you the money and then to expect something after a long time. And we know that many crowdfunding project just when either busted or disappear.
Yeah.
So it's a big it requires a lot of trust, and you need to build that trust with being persistent and be considerate and understanding that they are a sort of like angel investors, and you need to you need to relate to them as such with the utmost care and gratitude.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you mentioned about the trade show and other different event that you're going to. Beyond the trade show, what other like platform? For example, like on the Amazon side, how is the Amazon marketing going for the brand so far?
For the Age of Comics, we are launching right now. We literally launch on with like Amazon, and we are FBA partner right now. And we're launching soft. The platform is like it's very complex. We are starting to do. We'll start next week doing marketing there as well. And it is a test and fail and eventual success. With the kind of product that we're selling is slightly different than regular plastic toys, and he has other kind of thing to take in consideration. Board games are, especially like these kind of like big box games, are heavy. They occupy a lot of shelf space, and they require extra care because the box per se is part of the experience. And I think right now Amazon is taking care of it, but there were times in which like it was considered just a box. But if a customer receive a damaged box of a board games, is going to complain. So it's very different from other toy products in a way, and are things that needs to be tested. So what we're right now is tested, comparing the price of self-distribution that went very well, especially in Europe. It's more difficult push it through the American market because marketing in the US is considerably more expensive than in other country. But it's we managed to do some good sales online on our website where you can find the game, and also and now we're starting this new adventure with Amazon as well. And we'll see where it will go and how effective the marketing tools are in gathering new people interested in it.
For sure. I think Amazon is a totally different monster compared to the Kickstarter. And that's something we have a lot of experience with. And usually you really need like 5 different type of expertise in order to run the platform really well. There's the number one is search engine optimization, because Amazon is
Yeah.
the search engine. Second one is advertising. You need an advertising specialist on the team that know how to run all the different type of app placement, including sponsored product, sponsored brand, and sponsored display. And then you also need a creative person, like a graphic designer on your side, that can do the graphic design specifically for Amazon purposes. For the Amazon detail page, there's hero images, secondary images, there's A+ content for product description. Then you need a fourth person that know how to deal with the compliance and the catalog. You need a catalog specialist, know how to deal with all the compliance issue with Amazon. Then the last person you really need on your side or within your team is going to be an inventory specialist that know how to handle the inventory and make sure everything gets shipped in on time. And you don't want to overstock in Amazon, because they will charge a long-term storage fee on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a very different than Kickstarter. And that's something I feel like a lot of people kind of overlook when they're first starting on Amazon. They think it's going to be similar to Kickstarter because that's kind of their previous experience but it's a totally different platform.
No, we build up on the experience. We are selling through Shopify, and we have fulfillment center in 5 countries. So in that sense, that experience kind of like set the bar, and then we say, okay, we are proficient with this. We know how to we automatize the process of selling. Let's see how we can perform, and let's see how more complicated and advantageous is being on that big platform. So we are literally testing. We have a very few products. The other thing you need to consider, margin in board games are really little. You need to rely on big numbers. We don't have yet those big. Yeah, we have interesting numbers on Kickstarter, but we don't have, like, in terms of the big world, is like, the distribution. We are not even taking consideration being an indie publisher with just one game, and you need to work around these perks, and that's why we are developing new games to get more presence, spread the brand around, and hopefully start to get picked. Because the way also the shipping on the products is different in board games. A brick and mortar store will hardly get more than 2-3, especially if you're at the beginning, an indie publisher will difficultly get like 2-3 copies of more than 3 copies of your game. But boxes that might give you a discount, might give discount to a brick and mortar store, like contain like 6 or more boxes. So you need to have more games, and now that's what we're trying to do, is develop more games to give more offer and to help at the store, and at the same time create a sort of funnel system of products on Amazon. Also on Amazon, we have our store, we have our website on Amazon, we have our shop, but of course we are selling 3 products, like the game and accessory for the game. We need to improve that storefront for like specific product, and that's going to take some time.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point, because margin for the board game industry it depends on how big the game is, but it's also very important. And Amazon take up so much different fee. There's Amazon referral fee, Amazon FBA fee, Amazon storage fee, long-term storage fee, inbound storage fee. There's a lot of fee on the Amazon platform. And usually when we're talking to the people in the industry, our recommendation is you want to make sure your profit margin is at least at 25% or higher, after you deduct all the Amazon fee and deducting your cost of goods sold, before you even consider scaling on Amazon, because Amazon is also a pay-to-play platform. You have to run ads if you want to see any kind of like ongoing success on the platform. You have to run ads.
I think that's the industry. It's like we notice also with our website, the moment we stop like advert marketing for whatever reason, it's just sales just like basically stop. So
yes.
And they start again when you start to advertise. It's like it's a complicated, really complicated game full of pitfalls. So we are trying to do baby steps. That's been always our approach. and to not run the risk to just burn cash, because you can find yourself burning a lot of cash. So
yeah, for sure, for
bit
sure.
by bit.
Yeah. And the other thing, I think a common, I guess, decision the people in the industry is trying to make is like, that's maybe something I also want to ask you on your perspective. When you first making the decision on either to go self-publishing or licensing to a bigger publisher, when you're making that decision, back then, what was going through your mind? What are some of the kind of the consideration you're thinking?
As an indie publisher, we wanted to really know the in and out of the industry, and we thought if we're going to licensing, there's 90. We won't see 90% of the business. Plus,
true.
even in that case, margins are like
Even lower, yes, yeah.
oof,
Yeah.
really, really, really low.
Yeah.
And we thought, look, what we would have to sell 3 times to get the same margin. At this point, let's see how this industry work, and let's see where we can get. And again, it's like it's a precious learning phase, and we are happy that we took that decision. Yeah, we could have licensed some of the thing, or find like some form of maybe distribution deal on some markets.
Yeah.
But it's you never know. We would have missed part of the experience. And I think that as an indie publisher, you need to see those things. You need to understand how complicated. Also to make your deal more confidently, knowing that you're doing the right choice, because you would be really difficult to get in there at the same time. So we will. You live and learn, you make mistakes, and it's again part of the journey.
Yeah, of course. I 100% agree. And also you talk about, because you actually go through the self-publishing route, now you understand, even if you want to pitch to any publisher in the future, you know what is going through their mind, because you already did all the steps yourself. So you understand what they were thinking when they are evaluating your particular board game and your particular design, and what are some of the things they are considering as far as cost, marketing, and all the other things, because you've done that yourself. And I think that's a very important element that some people will oversee. But it could be kind of overwhelming, as initially.
Oh, yes, it
because
is.
you need to tackle so many different aspects, not just on the design. Now you have manufacturers, you have supply chain, you have testing, you have marketing, you have a whole kind of different issues. So, but I think for me, being a toy entrepreneur myself, that's also the fun part, to really brainstorm on coming up with creative solution to tackle all the different problem that we encounter. So, and that's one thing I really, enjoy as part of my role in my own company as well. So, and so what is next for your company in the next? What are some of what is your projection for the next few years? What do you want to work on?
Well, we are still like pushing at Age of Comics. We are like trying to expand our communities in the US. We partner up with companies that do that they spread the knowledge of new games to convention that are too far for us, too expensive for us to attend regularly. So we're gonna have like our games at the GeekCon and Gen Con, of course, in August, and Geekway to the west. We just like the games was Dice Tower West. And we're looking for like this for the feedback from the player from this event, and hopefully they will enthusiastically get copies from the game and from our website or from Amazon. And so this is in the immediate next. But then I was mentioning we're going to relaunch Timeless Journeys, the Italian Grand Tour. That is as I was saying, the next game that we are revamping the graphics, and we're going to and we have already more games in development, pretty much advanced stage. I cannot say too much. That are different from what we did so far. We want to try explore new ways of interact with games and approach them. We're going with simpler games and with a very distinctive kind of lore, in a way that we are building the lore with a special care to get the audience involved in the universe in which the games will take place.
Okay.
And so we are talking right now with graphic artist and other game designer.
Yeah.
And we'll see soon what will happen.
I see. Got it. So as we're wrapping up today's interview, if you have to share just one piece of advice with someone that's getting started within the tabletop board game industry, what would that be?
Careful what you wish for. Many of these, because many of the industry that start from a passion, you will turn a passion into a job, and so be careful. Like it's true. Like but for me and Sonia, the excitement and the careless joy that we have play board games now. Every time we play something new, there's a constant level of analyzing and break down things and thinking about it. And so it is like it changes the perception on your passion. So it's like it's also great. You are immersed in something that you love, but especially at the beginning, there's a lot of accounting. There's a lot of especially that there's a lot of project management. There's a lot of logistic and manufacturing. So it's like this is the making board games is not like exactly like it's an incredibly complicated board game to play at. Very, very, very complicated, and you put your life on the board in a way.
You put your life on the board. I like that. So it is just like running any other real business. There's a lot of
it is like
exactly
like any other real business. Yes.
Yeah. So okay. So yes, and where's the best place for our audience to find you online?
Yeah, we can find us on like social media. So we have group on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our website that is liriusgames.com. And if you just Google search Age of Comics, the Golden Years, you will find us in a second. And as I was saying, you can purchase the game from our website or through Amazon. I don't know if it's still eligible for Amazon Prime, but it's like maybe it is literally we're talking things that will happen in a few hours. We have a store there. There's amazon.com/Lirius Games as well. You can go check the product. And yes, those are like we can find pretty easily. If you don't find it easily, just drop us an email, talk to your retail store, brick and mortar, and they will definitely get in contact with us. We can get copies to them in a very short amount of time. The other thing, we enroll the Amazon program for selling in Mexico and in Brazil, and that's going to be another channel that we are like opening that we're going to test in the next week. So
I see.
Listener in Brazil and Mexico can actually get their copy of the game directly through Amazon very soon.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that. And for our listeners, thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support and would love it. You can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and games industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag Toy Business Unboxed, and we'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joy to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.